Hello guys, my name is Rio and I'm a travel creator based in Tokyo, and today I wanted to share with you 5 travel tips for visiting Japan for the first time. Today's tips is mostly for the first timers. So if you have been to Japan for 20 times already, then you might already know. But if you're a first timer, this should be helpful for you to have a nice trip. Before we dive in, if you could subscribe to my channel, that would really means a lot and I would appreciate that support. Number 1 is carrying cash. Unfortunately, we are still work in progress when it comes to, cashless payment. We do have most of the businesses accepting credit card and card, so you wouldn't have big problem. But if you wanted to go to local spots or small shops or small personal owned businesses, they may ask for your cash instead of the card. Even if it's old businesses or new businesses, if it's small, they may ask for your cash. So when you're visiting, make sure to carry some cash. So number 2 is the last train. So Tokyo is a city that does not sleep, and I agree and I can confirm that it does not, but trains do. So sometime between 12:30 to 1:30 a.m. Somewhere around that range, that's when the last trains are, and it varies depending on where you are taking the trains from. So keeping that in mind, if you actually miss that, you have to stay out until the first train following morning or same morning, which usually is 4:30, 5 to 5:30, depending on where you are. And another option is to take a cab back. And depending on where you are and how far you are traveling, it could cost you a decent amount. Sometimes it could cost more than $100, so just keep that in mind when you're going out. Number 3 is a rush hour. So Tokyo is probably most known for the, people pushing people into the train. And I'm sure some of you already have seen it on social media, and I can confirm that that happens. But that tends to happen during the morning, not during the, going home rush hour. So first rush hour in the morning is sometime around 7:30 to maybe 8:30, depending on the people's commuting time. But that's when you want to avoid. And depending on the lines, it can be crazier. So for example, some trains like a KO line, which really extends from the main city to outside of the city. Some of the train lines really goes over multiple prefectures. Those ones tend to be a little bit crazy closer you get during the rush hour in the morning. Rush hour at night is sometime around 6:30 to 8 p.m. Some of the train lines like Yamanote line, which is the city loop, they tend to be a little bit crazy, and you can find people squishing themselves into the train. So if you want to have a cultural experience of, Japanese rush hour, go for it, and you can. But if you want to avoid it, just wait 1 or 2 trains that you can usually find like a little bit more empty trains. Once again, reminder, in the morning rush hour is sometime around 7:30 to 8:30, maybe 9 a.m. and at night is 6:30 to 8 p.m. Number 4, to visit countryside. I really recommend to visit some countryside outside of the main cities like Osaka, Kyoto, Tokyo, because that's where a little bit more of like raw culture and traditions that remains, and you can really experience it directly in comparison to Tokyo. Some of the recommendation I can make from Tokyo is the Gunma Prefecture, Nagano Prefecture, Gifu Prefecture, and Yamanashi Prefecture are probably good options, only because they are very well connected from Tokyo, so you don't really have to go through so much hustle to get to these prefectures. And those prefectures tend to have a lot of mountains. Northern and southern Alps of Japan is located within these prefectures, so you can find some beautiful landscapes. Last point is see Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji is something that I think it's very iconic, not just for Japan, but for international, scale. Not too many mountains shaped like that and just located and just on its own. So many mountains are really connected to other mountains, and that sets this mountain apart, in my opinion. However, it's a shy mountain, so if you come during the summer, especially sometime from April up to maybe September, you're gonna have a difficult time seeing Mount Fuji because top 20% is always going to be covered by clouds. So my recommendation is that for you to come to Japan to see Mount Fuji from October to March. During this time, the air is a little bit more cleaner and crispier, and you will have a lot more high chances of seeing the Mount Fuji in a clean shape and nothing's covering it. And most of the time there are some snow. I know that this is a little bit of exception, but during this time you should be able to see some snow up in the mountains so you can get the picturesque Mount Fuji. And my personal opinion is I love seeing Mount Fuji in autumn with the vibrant colors of, you know, fall leaves and yellow and orange and red. These are just some beautiful sceneries that I cannot get over. So if you were to come to Japan and Mount Fuji is just something that you cannot give up to seeing, then I would suggest to, you know, come to visit from October to March. And in addition to that, extra tip for you, it's a lot easier to time the autumn leaf season in comparison to cherry blossom season. Cherry blossom season is very short. It only lasts about a week, but if you have a terrible weather, they all just falls and it can get cut short. Whereas autumn leaf season, it can be, you know, it can fluctuate, but it lasts a little bit longer and you can still enjoy if you have to like accommodate your other, you know, specific schedules. These are the 5 essential tips for a first-time visitor to Japan. These are just my personal experience of hearing from all my friends across the world, and they always want to know certain information about Japan, and these are some of the most asked questions. So I wanted to share that with you as well, and if you have any further concerns or questions, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, and I'm happy to help you plan your trip if you are looking for some specific information, so don't be shy. Yeah, thank you for watching, and once again please hit subscribe and like this video if you enjoy it, and have a good day, have a good night wherever you are, and see you in the next video. Bye.